Hi, it's Megan. I wanted to talk in this episode about kind of like the opposite topic to what I brought up last week, which, if you're not obsessed with me yet, was how I basically think I can buy whatever I want, whenever I want, as long as I have a plan for it and I'm meeting like my budget goals and my long-term financial goals. Sorry, I just got my cat a new toy from Aldi, like on a whim. I don't know, it was on sale. And it's like a bird that suctions to the window on a string, and I knew she would love it, and she went like right for it. And she's got all these feathers stuck in her face. So she's like doing the cat thing where she's like kind of trying to lick it off, but like throwing her head back because she can't really like reach where they are. And she just looks really dazed and confused. Just love all the weird faces that cats make. Like they're such, I don't know, neurotic, anxious, excitable pets. Anyway, if you hear like clicking and ringing in the background, that's what's happening. If you have a cat, you're probably familiar with the head wobble, like where they throw their head back and they just kind of wobble it back and forth. That's what she's doing because she's trying to reach her tongue to the top of her head. Anyway, so I think in terms of budgeting, the other thing that I have been thinking about, and I think implementing as well, because none of this is revolutionary, this is just value-based spending. But like, in addition to learning to budget for the things that I like, even if other people think they're frivolous, I think the other side of that coin is learning that I don't need or even want things that I like, if that makes sense. Like the ability to look at something and appreciate it and think like, okay, there's a me in a universe somewhere who would love to have that, but she's not me right now. Like, I don't want that right now. And the reason I was thinking about this in particular is because like everybody just got finished decorating for Christmas, and now some people are decorating for Valentine's Day, I guess. I don't know. Apparently that's a thing people do. I didn't even know. But yeah, these decorations are coming out and people are putting these things up in their home, and I'm seeing them on YouTube, and they're very, very cute. Like, don't get me wrong, I love walking in to a house on Christmas Day, not mine, because I live in an apartment, but in somebody's house. I love walking in and like smelling the cookies and seeing the tinsel, or actually that's a really weird example. I don't think I've ever thought about tinsel in my life, really. Seeing like a wreath and a tree there, that's a good example. Seeing a tree and ornaments and garlands and like homemade popcorn strings, whatever. It doesn't even have to be fancy. It can be homemade, or it doesn't even have to be wasteful. Like you can be using up scraps with like popcorn and fruit or whatever. Because I know that's a big thing. The wastefulness of holiday decorations and how they're mostly plastic. That's not even really what I'm talking about. I'm not really talking about the environmental side of it. I just mean in terms of the finances and the effort it takes to decorate a home during the holidays or during any holiday. It's really nice. It's such a nice atmosphere, and I appreciate that a lot, and I notice it and value the time and the effort that went into it, and the money to buy these things often, to decorate a home and then to store those things. I think I appreciate it maybe even more because I would never do it. I just am not a decorator, at least not for holidays or really for anything, but definitely like I don't have space for specific holiday decor. I just don't have a place to put it. It's either going to be out or it's not here, you know, like it's as in it's going to be like on the wall or on the floor, or it just is not going to exist in my apartment. I don't have the space. And quite frankly, I would never do it even if I had the space. It's just the effort that I don't want to put forth. So while I can like look at it and think that's nice, and like somewhere there's a version of me who would love to live in like a cozy, well decorated during the holidays apartment or home or whatever, that is not the me that is in this universe. I can't keep up with that stuff. And I think we do it a lot with like, to take this back to makeup, which is what I was talking about for the most part last week. Like I can see people wear makeup and styles that I would never wear. And I think they're very pretty and they suit them very well, but they're not for me. Just because it looks good on somebody else doesn't mean it would look good on me. Or maybe it would look good on me and I just don't have the space for it or the time or the energy to care for that specific item. So I just let it go. I let it go. Or like somebody gets a really cool piece of technology and like I could see myself enjoying it. I could see myself having a use for it, but it doesn't mean I need it. I've got a whole graveyard of devices here that I'm slowly trying to get rid of. I don't want more. I'm not going to do that to future me. I will, however, buy a fucking ton of kitchen things. And you know what? Sometimes you need more, okay? I try not to buy duplicates. I will say that. But like, I was at the Dollar Tree the other day. They had a bench scraper. You know what I've always wanted? A bench scraper. It was stainless steel. It was $125. Obviously, I bought it. Obviously. And I crammed it into my silverware drawer. It's having a really hard life in there because it doesn't have any personal space. But you know what? That's who I am. I will probably learn eventually. Like I do eventually reach a point with things where it's like I cannot anymore. I got there with clothes a long time ago. You know, side note here. People talk about fast fashion and like how, you know, terrible it is because we're buying all these new things and they fall apart so easily, blah, 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 blah. We should buy high quality stuff. I buy shit. Okay. I buy Old Navy. I buy Target. I can't even think of anywhere else I've bought clothes from. I don't know, the thrift store. I don't have any fucking idea because I haven't bought clothes in forever because these things will not die. They will not die. I have these old shirts from Old Navy. I have like t-shirts from Target I got years ago, sweatpants I got years ago. They will not die. I don't know what y'all are doing to your clothes. Mine are not falling apart. Even when I desperately want them to fall apart. So that's where I am with clothes now. Like if I see something at the store and I think, wow, I actually really like that. I could wear that and enjoy it. I can look at it and I can have those thoughts and I can also realize like, I don't really want it. You know? Like I do, but I don't. I'm happier without it. I don't want to deal with the clutter. I don't want to wash it. I don't want to have to buy a hanger because my hangers are in short supply. To be fair, who wants to buy a hanger? You know, I'm talking about things that I actually like that I'm not buying. You think I'm going to buy a hanger? A fucking hanger? No, I'm absolutely not going to do that. I don't think I've bought hangers in maybe 10 years. I refuse. Again, I don't think I'm like creating this idea. I think that people have been preaching budgeting and like how to budget. Because obviously if you like budget for everything you want and you have room in your budget for that, that's very cool. Most of us can't do that. I sure can't. So you sort of have to retrain your brain. I also think there's a little bit of a minimalist tendency to that kind of thinking too, where it's like, I don't want to have the space and the time and the effort to care for an item when I live perfectly happily without that item. So there's a little bit of that too. If I could get to that point with everything that I want to buy, that'd be pretty cool. Unfortunately, that ain't going to happen. So I got to prioritize what I know I'm going to buy. What I just know I'm going to buy, I have to factor that in. But not to sound like too whatever, but I think it is really nice to be truly happy with what you have. It's a kind of like peace that I never knew or I didn't know for a long time. And I know it sometimes now. Not all the time. There are things that I want desperately sometimes, but I am also prone to periods where I just feel totally satisfied with what I have. And that's like a really cool feeling. Anyway, that's all I wanted to babble about today. As always, thank you so much for listening. If you're new here, this is how this goes. I just start talking. And if you go back to my other, I think I'm almost up to 20. Or is this 20? This is my 20th episode. I should have done something more fun, but this bitch can't count. If you go to my other 19 episodes, they're all kind of like this. I don't really do intros, but this is my thoughts on budgeting and living on a part-time income. Hi. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, I'm at bitch.fires. You can add me. I'll probably add you back as long as it looks like you talk about money and it looks like you're not selling anything and it looks like you're a real person. I guess there are a lot of contingencies, but other than that, I'll follow you. Hey. I will talk to you next week, and I'll miss you until then. Thank you so much.